Congressman Adam Schiff, who is the top Democrat on the House Intelligence Committee, has decided to support the Iran agreement, and he joins me now for his first television interview since making that decision. Tough decision for you?
Very tough, I think among the toughest I've ever had. And it's because at the heart of this deal is a very painful compromise, and that is the path to the bomb for Iran, I think, is cut off. That's a major objective and a major achievement. But at the same time, Iran is left with a internationally sanctioned enrichment infrastructure, a very considerable infrastructure, and that's tough to swallow.
Are you satisfied that the inspections by the international IAEA inspectors, the UN inspectors, will be adequate, since those are secret private agreements between Tehran and the IAEA, and Senators Cotton and Pompeo and other critics, they're not being fully briefed?
Well, the inspections of the nuclear facilities are very vigorous, and the inspections when there's a site called into question, I think the process is workable, even though Iran will have 24 days to play rope-a-dope. If they're engaged in enrichment, we will find out. The greater danger is that they engage in weaponization. That's more difficult. But in terms of the side agreement with the IAEA, we won't have as much visibility on their past military work through that process as I would like. The only thing I think that seriously mitigates that concern is I've looked at our intelligence on what we know of Iran's nuclear activities in the past. We have pretty extensive insights into what they were doing and how far advanced they were. So in terms of providing the background about where they were and knowing how much farther they have to go, we have a pretty good insight into that.
But in the past, they've fooled us. They've cheated. We didn't know. Also, our intelligence is not as good, some would say, as we like to claim it is. We and the Israelis did not know about the North Korean reactor in Syria until it was already built and had to be taken out militarily. We did not know about AQ Khan, the Pakistani and North Korean supplies of nuclear equipment to Iran.
No, that's absolutely true. Now, one of the things we will have with this agreement we wouldn't have without it is those very intrusive inspections, those eyes on the ground. But nonetheless, I think while Congress shouldn't reject the agreement, it ought to strengthen it. And we can strengthen it by making sure Iran understands that if we do catch them cheating, the repercussions will be severe. By making sure that Iran understands that they will never be permitted to highly enrich uranium, not now, not 15 years from now, not 50 years from now. And we will use force to stop them. By making sure that our allies in the region know that we will work with them to contain what Iran can do with its newfound wealth.
And only today, Secretary Kerry continues his mission. He's in the Persian Gulf trying to reassure those allies we're going to be beefing up their security, and Israel's as well, although those numbers aren't being explicit right now, so that there doesn't seem to be a quid pro quo, but Israel is clearly going to get more military defenses as well. The latest NBC News Wall Street Journal poll, Congressman, shows that people are still confused. People are divided. 35% oppose the deal, 33%, or rather 35% support the deal, 33% oppose it, and 32% don't know enough. They say they aren't,
well, this is
well briefed enough.
Very consistent with what I'm hearing from my constituents. About half of those that have reached out to me are for it, half are against it, and I'm sure there are a great many that are still trying to figure it out. Look, for even those of us that are getting intelligence briefings around the clock on this and have access to all the documents, it's a hard decision. If it were a clear choice, it would be one thing. It's not. And frankly, when you're in a negotiation with an implacable foe, you're going to get a deal that comes out of that with parts that you like and parts that you don't. And where I think we succeeded is there's a very strong snapback mechanism to reimpose sanctions. The inspections are very rigorous. Where we did not do as well is our visibility into their past military work, and the fact that at the end of 15 years, they'll have a major civilian enrichment facility.
Have you been under a lot of pressure?
Self-imposed. I decided from the beginning I was going to do my best to tune out the noise in terms of external campaigning. I was going to listen to those who I respect, and I have talked to independent experts, talked to people from both sides of this debate, but make my decision on the merits, and it's just too important to do otherwise.
Congressman Adam Schiff, as always, thanks for sharing with us.
Thanks.